host, and it was a pretty exciting time with Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series, owner of Hollow Man Publishing in America and May, VA. He loves being part of Fridays with Frank. He was your surrogate last week, Frank.
Yes,
Somehow
well,
you didn't end up coming, so Paul took his spot, man.
that's good. That's good.
Okay,
Paul,
so Paul
yeah,
can be Paul can be the designated podcaster
there you go.
in the middle of July. All right, so let's go, Frank. Updates your again the Jonathan Smythe series. Oh man, we had a really fun. You had a really fun movie shoot this weekend. This
I,
week,
I
didn't you?
I'm still on a high. It's unbelievable what these people did and the experience that I had. We we took the fourth book, The Case of the Prescott Tunnels, and we wanted to make a sizzle reel, which will be a sizzle, which we'll use to attract money to create the full feature. Our intent is to take all six books, two of the books I'm still, the two books I'm still writing, number 5 and 6, and break those use those books as a series of 12 films, 12 shows, 12 whatever, because each book we can break down into two pieces. Then they take that and then hopefully get the funding for the production of the features, the first features, and then the others. But I tell you, putting together this 2 minute film, no matter what, whether you're filming for producing for 2 minutes or 2 hours, you got to go through the whole process of literally making a movie. And I got really good people. And we went through two crazy days of filming. And literally, we got at 6 in the morning to 11 or 12 at night. It was just amazing. And this crew is so great. Our lead actor that we have that we are using for the trailer is Costas Mandalore. The guy is amazing. He was really kind of huffing and puffing because we're a mile high out up here in Prescott, just as high as Denver. And if you're just coming in and you haven't been acclimated to high altitude, it can affect you. And it did affect him, but it didn't do it. But he gave it 100 and 1,000% on each shot. At the end, he was huffing and puffing, but he did. He did his job. We're very proud of him. The cast that the cast there we had a casting director. Okay, we had you name it, and we had it. In fact, tell you in a minute here. Um, Basically, we had everything you'd have to have for a film. We had all those people there. We had casting directors, we had like set designers, we had directors, assistant directors, the crew, producer, wardrobe lady. We had everything. It was just simply amazing. The crew that we had to put together to make a movie. And and so we're hoping that right now we did the production. Now we're going into post production, and this is where we'll add the special effects. And we have somebody for that. We just hired somebody for that, and doing the audio and the visual and all this stuff. It's going to be just amazing. So we're hoping that this sizzle trailer is really going to be good for attracting people's attention and saying, look, this is what this can do. And what's so good about this series is that we're pitching this Western in a different way. We're pitching it is where it is tracking down Jack the Ripper out west. And they have these two sleuths. Then we got Jonathan Smythe, who's an amateur sleuth, and his hobby is trying to figure out and track down Jack the Ripper. And he tracked him down all the way to out west, and then that's where the cowboy stuff starts. And the partnership between him and Abbott, Charles Abbott, who was masquerading as a London Times reporter, who was really a Scotland Yard detective, thinking that Smythe either is the Ripper or has something or is working with him because the Smythe knows so much about him. So there's a lot of good interplay between the British out west, the British guy out west, the idea that it's almost like a Sherlock Holmes and Watson combinations. So there's a lot of interesting things that I hope investors or people productions like Netflix and Prime will see that this is a potential moneymaker for them.
So let's kind of talk about uh, the other actors. You said Costas. You had other local actors in this film, right?
Yes, yeah, we actually had a casting director, the professional casting director, and he said that they sent us a file, a spreadsheet of a bunch of people that he, based on what I said, I sent him a list of characters, the background, what the character would be, and then he would take people and put them in his spreadsheet and said, here are people like they matches your character descriptions, and then we would pick through them. And the only problem we had was the girl. We have a prostitute in there, and we had to go through three different girls in order to get to the last one that was really, really good.
Frank, that didn't sound good. You
And
need
she,
to go through three different girls to get your prostitute?
well, and she's not a real actress. She's a registered nurse and does this on the side. She was great, and she played the role of the murdered prostitute's girlfriend, and at
So
the
how
end.
did that happen? So I'm interested in the whole how happened, what the first two couldn't make it for the shoot.
Yeah, the first three didn't work out. Okay, yeah, either they were conflicts and one of the girls I used in Cyberkill, but she wasn't available. And then finally we got down to this girl and Jamie, and she was really, really good for being not a professional. But she says, "I'm trying to get into it. I'm doing this on the side." She was
You
really
you
good.
you did reach out to the Hawk 2 girl and she said no, right?
Yeah, no. But one of the scenes, there's a scream, obviously, in the beginning, yeah, of the streets of London. And so we had to get her to scream. First you went, and then no more. I said, come on, screech, screech, don't let me pull a Spielberg on you. In the search for the lost ark, he couldn't get that girl to scream really bad. So next at one take, they tried again, and he threw a snake at her, and boy did she scream. But anyway, she did well. She did really well.
Okay. Paul, any questions about the shoot?
No, it's all fascinating. I love to hear you talk about it, and it gives a different perspective to a movie. Like how you make the movie is really doesn't come into when you're watching the movie. So it's really a fascinating art there. Thanks for sharing that, though, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. And at one point, we're gonna have a website. What's the movie series gonna be called? Jonathan
Jonathan Smythe, Cowboy Sleuth.
Cowboy
And
Sleuth.
each book is a case. Each film would be a case. It's TV stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. So how if you put in the chat if you're a fan, and Frank, this is always interesting when we go live. Put in the chat if you especially interact, and the longer we go on live, probably gonna have to get another streaming device to go live on TikTok too. Put your thing in the chat if you are a fan of Jack the Ripper. That is, there's probably lots of people who are serial killer fans, and they're going to want to just show up, Frank, to watch it because of Jonathan. I mean, because of, do we get to see, is there anyone playing him or no? We can't tell.
No. And I'm holding this back. In the sixth book, we're going to explain the theory and who he is, and he will be captured in the fifth book. But you gotta read that to see what we think happened to this guy and who he really is.
I didn't like today. I was interviewing somebody for my favorite show, and I didn't want him to spoil anything because some people never saw it. And he says, well, Neil, there's going to be a really big cliffhanger for the finale. I said, well, and he started talking about his career as a character. And I'm like, I know it, but other people will be like, thanks for giving me the buzzkill. That's the problem with streaming and movies and all those things. Don't tell people about it. Don't tell people about your book. Wait, patience, break things down for sure. So, Frank, are there chain gangs to the type of prisons where you're from in this area of the Arizona?
Not chain gangs. What we
You don't
had,
have-
we did have a sheriff who no longer is the sheriff in Phoenix or in Maricopa County. And
Oh
he was
yeah.
he was controversial, and he'd get these people saying, you're here, you might as well do something, and he'd have them out there cleaning up the highways and things like that. And of course
So when did chain gangs stop in Western times?
well, chain gangs were more south in the southern. I don't think it was
Southern.
out west. Yeah,
1960s.
yeah, right. That's what yeah.
All
Well,
right.
yeah. So anyway, hopefully we're going to
Right.
get the money to produce this series, and then, like I said, what I'm hoping is that they'll say, "Gee, Frank, that was really good. What else you got?" And I just point them right to my
You
website.
just throw them something else. Okay.
What do you want?
So
I'm open to-
everybody goes to frankfiore.com. I can't wait to see Frank play in Moran, one of the characters he'll play in Moran. Frankfiore.com. You'll be the narrator.
Well, Moran is going to be a huge feature because it takes place in New York City and Brooklyn, goes out to Africa, then back to Brooklyn.
You've written so many books, Frank. People got to check out frankfiore.com. Appreciate it, Frank.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Paul Hollis, author.com and the Holloman series.com. Take care.